G'day there and welcome once again. In this video we're going to talk about running fixes. Now running fixes are a technique used in nautical, in marine navigation, used to find your position where you only have one reference point. In this example we're sailing up the coast and we see the lighthouse off to our left, but it's the only feature that we can find on our chart. So we don't have multiple features that we can take position lines to get a fix. I'll link in down below a video that I did on position lines to explain what they're about. So if you want to have a look at that video, the link's down below. So a running fix is performed by taking bearings of a known object. We're going to take a bearing of the lighthouse here, and at this particular time we take a bearing of 290 degrees at 6:40 a.m. Now you should note that all of the headings and all of the bearings that I'm going to talk about today are true bearings. If ever you're taking a bearing with a compass, you need to convert it to a true bearing before you plot it on a chart. I've made a video on how to do this and I've linked it in down below, so make sure you have a look at that before you take any bearings with your compasses. You've got to convert them before you put them on the chart. But for what we're doing today, all of the bearings and all of the headings are just going to be in true, so we'll plot them straight on the chart here. So I've put us on this chart here. We know that we're on this bearing line somewhere. We know we're on this position line, but we don't know exactly where we are. All we know is we have this bearing 290 degrees at 6:40. Now let's say we travel for half an hour until 7:10 a.m. We travel on a heading of 010 degrees and a speed of 6 knots. What we can do is we can actually plot that on our chart. So we can just pick any position along this bearing line and plot a point there. 010 degrees, half an hour at 6 knots is 3 nautical miles you will travel. So what you can do is you can measure from this line a distance of 3 nautical miles. Put an arc in there and draw a line from this point on a bearing of 010 degrees. So you know somewhere you're up here at 010 degrees. At 7:10 a.m. you also take another bearing of the lighthouse, but this time the bearing's changed and it's now 260 degrees. That's at 7:10 a.m. So we plot this on our chart. Again, this is a true bearing, so we'll just plot it straight in, 260 degrees, and we'll draw the position line out here. So we know at 7:10 a.m. we're somewhere on this red position line. What we can do to get the fix then is we can move this first position line parallel to it, and we can move it forward up to where we've made this mark here. I'll do that by marking that up there. And where those two intersect is called the running fix, and that is a measure of where we are at 7:10 a.m. That is our fix. So that's a really easy way and a very quick way to get a position from a single object just by knowing how fast you're going and what heading you're on, and by noting the times and the bearings of those two positions, you can get a fix from just one object. There are some problems with running fixes, however, and the first and probably most important is that if you're in moving water. So if you're in moving water, you might know that you're doing 6 knots through the water and a heading of 010, but you don't know exactly which way the water is moving. So you could be going against a 2-knot tide or have 3 knots behind you, something like that. So that will actually alter where this blue line occurs or how this blue line ends up. And so you may not end up exactly where this running fix says you are if you're in current or in tide or that type of thing. Now if you know what is called the set and the drift, which is the movement of the boat because of the tide and current, you can factor that in to the running fix. So let's say the set and drift is pushing the boat on a heading of 030 degrees at 1 knot. So we can factor that in to our half-hour calculation. So we put in from here a heading of 030. We put in half a nautical mile because it's only half an hour that we've done this for. So 030 at 1 nautical mile and put that mark in. Then when we take our bearing of 260 and move our 290 degrees line up to where it crosses, instead of crossing the blue line here, we cross the green line. and that is our running fix. So at 7:10 a.m. we're in that location there. So I hope that made sense. Running fixes can be very, very handy, but you do just need to be aware of the issue surrounding current and wind movement pushing the boat around. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it the thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends. And if you've got any questions, or they have any questions or comments or things they'd like to see on the video, please give us a thumbs up, let us know, put a comment down below, and we will let you know. Thanks very much. We will catch you soon. Bye-bye.